Actually, that's kind of a question. How is it going after staying home this week?
Yeah, I don't think I was mentally prepared for it being as an up and down process of kind of coming back from an injury. It's not bad, but I mean, it was a significant injury, and it's just kind of dealing with the ups and downs of rehab and pushing it, then pulling back, then pushing it, then pulling back, and it's I've never dealt with something like this. So, I played that game on minute restriction the other night, and we had a little bit of time up our sleeve with season, just around the corner, and so we decided to use it to just let things settle down a little bit more. So, yeah, it's a rehab process. It's going to be a little bit before I'm back 100% and healthy, but I feel I'm in a good spot where I can play competitively. It just won't be, the me of last year until I can kind of get that full level of confidence back. But in terms of where I am at, and this is kind of the break that I've given myself, is, I did a pretty significant job on this ankle 7 weeks ago. To be back playing basketball now, I'm pretty stoked with that. So, yeah, it's good. It's in a good spot, and I'm happy with it.
Were you feeling limited in the game the other night that you played?
Not necessarily limited, but definitely. I mean, the one play that stands out to me is the one where I laid it up and it just rolled off the front of the rim. That's typically would be a dunk for me. So it's just stuff like that where whether that's confidence or whether that's just mechanical, loading not being where it needs to be yet. There's still a little bit of drawback there, but it's we really honed in on it over these past 4 days, isolated some movements, and that's really helped me gain a lot of confidence. And I felt that I got up and down today and played well, and that helped me a lot.
You feel good to go for Monday?
Yeah, 100%. Look forward to going back to San Antonio and playing some basketball, man.
A whole lot of guys who can say, look forward to going back. It's like this room, we've got San Antonio all over.
It'll be good. I know a few guys on that team that I enjoy playing against, so yeah, it'll be good.
All of your time in San Antonio, can you speak a little bit about playing on the team coached by Pop and how it was in the film session and practice? A lot of times, most people see it.
Yeah, it's funny. This is my third team in 3 years, and all the head coaches I've played for have been, pop prodigies, I suppose, if you want to look at it like that. So, it's kind of been a carryover effect where I've seen, little snippets kind of spread through organisations that probably come from what Pop put in place over there. So, whilst I was there, it was the club I was playing for. I didn't really think too much of it, but then you kind of get away from it and you're like, oh, I recognise this drill, or I recognise this kind of cultural piece that we kind of draw on, and there's just, you can see that the respect level for what he does kind of carries through the NBA because there are a lot of little nuances that he would have used that kind of see themselves be used in other organisations like the Rockets, like Phoenix. So yeah.
What are the challenges of going up against a player like Victor, that size and that skill set?
I mean, he's got a lot of stuff that you can't teach in terms of his physical attributes, and I think that's a problem. He's a huge. I mean, they threw a lob to him off of a backdoor cut from half court. It's just doesn't make sense. So, you got to be able to deal with that. I don't have the answer. Haven't played against him yet, so I don't really know what his game's like too much. But he's got a skill set that you can't teach in terms of his physical attributes. But then he's also a highly talented player. So he's going to be a problem. And until I actually play against him, I can't really give you an answer on what it'll be like.
Do you feel like he went to the right situation as far as being under Pop?
Yeah, I mean, you don't really have a choice when you're number one pick, but I think that he definitely in a good spot there, and a lot of the teammates and stuff will help him out through his first season, and then the coaching staff and the medical staff and all the people top to bottom in the Spurs are great individuals, so he's in a great spot.
There's been a really big focus on defense so far through training camp, through these first couple preseason games. What have you seen, and kind of how have you seen this team grow from the training camp practices to the first game and now the second game?
Yeah, I mean, you just look at how hard we play, how good our wings are defensively at kind of keeping the ball in front. takes a lot of pressure off us as bigs, which is always kind of the key to a good defense. You know, you can rely on someone blocking shots all night long, but if you're giving players full head of steam downhill every single game all night long, and you're relying on one guy to clean it up, it doesn't really work. So I think that's where we're so talented, is our wings are just incredible defensively. You see them, getting steals all night the other night. And then, I feel as though Alpie's done a really good job of kind of developing, into a tougher player. He's getting better and better on defense. He's still so young, so he's got a lot to learn. But I think that we're talented defensively, and that'll kind of be our identity going forward this year, and we'll probably predicate how well we do.
What are those battles like in practice? What are those battles like in practice, going back and forth with Alpie?
Yeah, it's great. I think that we both have skill sets which kind of push the other one. Getting to play against Alpie reminds me of going up against Jock in the playoffs last year, so I kind of get to hone in on that defensive repertoire, I suppose, and then for him, I'm sure it's not easy having to guard someone like me who plays really hard and kind of is always 100% coming downhill, running in transition, going for every O board. So that's probably helping him with no possessions off, like not having to worry about someone for 70% of possessions in practice is, they're possessions that he gets to kind of relax on. But I feel as though with me just trying to push myself every practice, especially coming back from injury, I'm trying to probably do more than I normally would. It just allows him to get more reps defensively almost, you know what I mean? So, I think that we've both rubbed off on each other well this training camp, and hopefully that carries through the season. Cool, guys.